The higher you get, the harder it gets. That's life.
Because this is a war. It's a fight, it's a battle.
So, how long have you known each other?
We was like brothers.
Apollo Creed is, loosely off of Muhammad Ali, so we kind of kept that always in the genetic bank of like how Adonis might fight a little bit like his dad, so there's a little bit of that, fun fan fiction, you know what I'm saying, in that. But then, Adonis, when he was younger, we thought about Sweet Pea, and also Timothy Bradley. Those are two of the characters right around Creed 1. We kind of like, took, little stylistic moves from. But then we started to just, develop Adonis for Adonis, and we didn't really pull from anywhere. We would how would Adonis be fighting if he was a little bit insecure in places, but had a hell of a lot to prove? How many risks would he be willing to take in the ring? How much, how many times would he be willing to get punched? How much damage is he willing to take, in order to deliver damage? Then that started to play into strategy and what kind of, how that affected the choreo in a lot of different ways, depending on where he was in his life, how secure he was with his relationship with his, with his wife or with his mom and the people that he cared about in his life. So all those things played a fact in how he fought.
I think we find them in this installment of the films, both trying to figure out, who they are as people outside of what they do. They're both technically retiring certain parts. Adonis is not boxing anymore, he's looking after fighters, and Bianca is producing more than she's performing. And I think for both of them, it represents a time of kind of redefining, who they are in relation to what they do. And then, of course, they have their daughter, Amara, that they love, but I think they're finding themselves in that period of partnership where you just have to sort of redefine who you are and who you are together and separately.
I think the value is that, here's a guy who, against all odds, made his way out after being put down. This man was put down and forgotten, and the strength of the human spirit, he was actually imprisoned. Actually. Not metaphorically, actually, you know what I mean? But then, of course, the literal incarceration leads to a figurative incarceration of his mind. And he frees himself. He frees himself. That's the takeaway. Keep punching. You know what I mean? Keep punching. Get up. Keep punching.
It's been just growing inside for a really long time since I talked to Ryan, seeing that representation, knowing what it was like, for him back on Fruitvale Station, and him telling me that he believed that I could do it. And I think that trust and that those expectations from him, definitely, made me think about my own confidence if when was the right time for me to step behind the camera. And I think all roads kind of led to the opportunity, the third movie installment. And I know the character so well and the story, had a vision for where I wanted to go. And I felt like it was the perfect time for me.
I knew from the moment that I met Mike that it was a matter of time before he would direct. He had a great understanding of story and an ambition to him, a point of view, a belief that certain stories should be out there and it should exist. So I was definitely encouraging him to go for it.
It was incredible. I mean, I think he's kind of a natural director. He's been working for such a long time. He was a child actor. And so I think, the best training for a job like this is just to be on a ton of sets, which he's done in spades. And I always think it's not just about making a film that's beautiful and fantastic, but if you can also make the experience of making the film a beautiful and fantastic one for people, then that's, you've done a really stellar job, and he was able to do both things. I'm just really proud of him.
I mean, Tessa is a generational talent, and working with her aura on screen and her aura in life, there is a great again, collaboration. I mean, he's boxing with her, you know what I mean? And she's boxing with him, you know, and he's taking hits and giving hits, and it's quite sophisticated, her level of communication.
She brings a sense of care and comfort to me personally, and I think by way of the character is also supporting and being there for Adonis as well. You know, her being a very talented musician and artist, and how we you know, she's been dealing with her own, you know, illness and hearing disability, and being able to reinvent herself as time moves on, as things progress, and not losing herself in support in the journey of Adonis Creed. You know, it was really important for us throughout this franchise that Bianca was seen and heard and fully present in her own, agency. You know, that was really, really important for us to hold true to. I think Tessa brings a humanity to that and a nurturing nature to it that I think makes Adonis feel stronger, more powerful, because he has this support system that cares so much about him. And Bianca embodies just that.
I think some of the themes that we explore through the character of Adonis are legacy, identity, the idea of self-determination. I think class struggles, you know, are something that we explore through Adonis. He's an African-American character, a black character in the world of boxing. And I think that it's crazy enough. It's not often explored, you know, fictionally. So that's another element of it as well.
My take on it was everything my brother, director, and friend asked me to do, I was gonna be able to do, you know. And I also had my own goals for what I wanted Dame to be. Dame also represents to me, I have so many friends and family members who have been incarcerated. So many dreams that have been shut up and locked down, you know. And so I felt I had a duty to represent those folks, you know. And what would you do if you had the chance to exonerate yourself? Nothing would stop you, you know what I mean? And you would lose your mind if somebody said, you don't have to lift the real weight, you can lift the fake weight. No, 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 no. We're lifting the weight. I done trained for 4 months to get to this moment. We're doing it. These ropes, I'm climbing them. You don't need to do it. I'm climbing these fucking ropes.
So I feel like the Hispanic community is boxing, like legit, and we haven't seen, you know, a character, representing, Mexico or any Latin, groups, Hispanic groups. Like, we haven't seen that, at all. So I felt like it was just us, I don't know, being realistic, and a lot of these rivals and these challenges and these famous boxers, like these rivalries exist. It's one of the most exciting fighters and fights that's happened in boxing history. So I wanted to kind of create that in our franchise as well. So Jose Benavides did a phenomenal job. And Felix as a character, I think, represents a lot of fighters out there that were given opportunities and chances and executed off of those, you know what I'm saying, and became world champ, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great thing to see, and hopefully people tap into it and want to see more of them.
First off, I hope they're entertained. We make it for people to come in, and there's a level of escapism, with this franchise, from my vantage point. I also would like them to, it's always interesting, take what you take from it, you know what I mean? But I can tell you what's in there. There's motivation in there, there's inspiration in there, there's a examination of a real friendship and a real brotherhood, from multiple angles as athletes. That's something we don't really talk about, how athletes actually get on, between athletes, between men, between human beings, between black men. It's all that.
I want them to walk away and feeling like they can do anything, no matter, your background, no matter what you've been through, no matter how hard, life has been, that you can, overcome hardship and obstacles. And if you focus hard enough, and sometimes, you know, the right decision is not the easy decision. You can make those hard decisions, you know, that you can come out on top.
I think this is a movie to see it on the big screen because, you know, I think there's so many things in our movie that will feel and look better on, you know, in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like the fights, the action, you know, you want to see that up close and personal. You want to feel, you know, every punch. You want to hear every, you know, impact, you know, every, you know, drip of sweat, drop of blood that's, you know, that's coming up, you know, off of our bodies in this fight. I think the big screen just lends itself to that, to the scope of the movie. I think this is a movie that will, you know, make you laugh, you know, cry, you know, cheer, you know, sad. You know, it's a four-quadrant film. You know, you learn things about a character that you thought you knew a lot about. So it's an education. And I want you to, you know, walk away feeling good. You know, this is a movie that I want you to go home and think, you know, man, that was a ride, and also reflect inward on yourself and, you know, how can you be better, you know?
The higher you get, the harder it gets. That's life.
Because this is a war. It's a fight, it's a battle.
So, how long have you known each other?
We was like brothers.
One day you came back. The past came back too.
There may have been a time when Damien had your back.
No friends in the industry.
But that's not what he's doing now.
My brothers been my brothers, man. They no kidding me a fact.
Before I got locked up, I was the best. You a coward, bro, and a fraud. Try spending half your life in a cell, watching somebody else live your life.
I had to draw the line.
I'm just getting started, little brother.
I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies.
I'm coming for it all.
He's not gonna stop.
Then you make him.
The one and only Adonis Creed, you're the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. 3 years ago, it's been a minute since you've been out in these streets.
When I walked away from boxing, I walked away with some unfinished business.
You see that man right there? Do you remember him?
No friends in the industry. I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies. A fact. Let us start a beat, don't wanna keep it rap. Yeah, you hit us up and now we owe you something back.
Don't let him destroy everything you've built. Everything we've built.
Yeah, I had to draw the line between my brothers and my enemies. My brothers and my enemies. My brothers and my enemies.
You out there boxing. I need you to start fighting.